This exercise is called Dragon Shakes Its Tail. It's one of the key movements in the classic Chi Gong set called the Baduan Jin, or the pressure set of 8. This has enormous benefit for the neurological system. It gets its main effect through stretching of the vagus nerve and the movement of the vestibular system, the inner ear, beyond the movement itself and the pressurization it makes in this area of the body. So who this is not useful for is people who have a dizziness issue already, or you really have to move very slow with your head because there's a vestibular issue. Some people, they've got to be very cautious how quickly or slowly they move their head. This is not an exercise for you. And if someone was to give it to you, it'd be after doing a lot of vestibular or brain-centered rehab already, okay? What this does, it alters pelvic malalignments within about 6 reps or less. Opens up hip flexors, opens up rotation through the body, opens up the neck. It makes a lot of change in the system. The thing is with, especially with Eastern style exercise, medical exercise, there's generally whole body movements are involved. There is so much change happening on a neurological and joint level and pressure level in the body that we don't know how much change is being made. I just feel better after I do it. But if you do before and after assessment, you can see just how much change is being made. So how we do this, so if you're used to martial arts stances, you can start in about a 1.5 to 2 shoulder width horse stance. So your feet are straight, ideally. They can be turned out a little bit. A lot of people find they're very uncomfortable with their feet straight. A little bit turned out is fine. Bend the knees, bend the hips, just to a comfortable height. So it's like you're sitting on a horse, like you're riding a horse here. And your spine vertical. The knees have a sense of being opened a little bit. So they're not in like this. Definitely don't want your knees in like this. So the knees are open that way, kind of like you're making a box here. So that's the first part. The hands then on here, this way. So the thumbs are outwards. And the first part, you're bending forward. Then we pivot. So I pivot my feet and I rise up like this. So I'm aiming to have my head going to the 180 here. Feet are on an angle like this. So I'm not turned here and I'm not still back here. So the feet are turned as if they're on train tracks, have the same angulation here. And the back leg straight, not locked out, it's just straight. Then the key thing from here is that the head drives the movement. So I'm coming forward with the head first. My eyes follow my head all the time. So I come down, I start to pivot my feet again. So I'm in the middle, feet are straight, and the spine's bent this way. So I'm not like this, bend over. Then from here, still driving with the head, push with the feet, so the feet turn, pivot, then I'll rise up again. So back leg straight, looking this way. Hands, shoulders are relaxed, and the feet on that pivot angle here. So try right now, do that with me, just the feet. So we just pivot the feet. So I'm pivoting mainly on the ball of the feet. Pivoting through the center of the feet is okay too. Then I'll pivot on the ball of the feet again. Adjust that, have that alignment. Pivot on the ball, straight, pivot. Or you're pivoting so your feet are still a bit open, but that foot definitely has to turn in so it has that angulation. So you'll get good at practicing that, controlling that. It's very useful for the knees, ankles, the hip alignment too, to do this. But if you're new to this exercise, definitely make your stances smaller or shorter and not as big. Making them too big can actually make your system wind up because you're trying to support where there's not enough strength in your legs. So it can be just 1.5 shoulder width, can be even shoulder width when you first start. So I'm bending, letting the body curl over, hands this way. So there's a roundness through the body, pivot, come up tall, so the back leg straight, lead with the head, pivot the feet, rounded through the body, come up, lead with the head. So breathing out, breathing in, breathe out, breathe in the middle here, still breathing in as you come up, as you go down, breathing out, breathe in, out. So breathing in and out through your nose, tongue on the roof of the mouth. I'll do another set with the bigger stance from the side. So I've got my feet about twice shoulder width, sitting into the stance, so it's comfortable. If you go too low, it feels like your body has to tighten itself, especially tighten your diaphragm. We don't want that. As you get stronger though, you can sink and you can do the whole stance staying quite low. This is what they do in martial arts, but the idea is your body can stay relaxed in it, so it takes time to practice that. So we go to a point where the body still feels springy. If you go a bit lower, it loses its spring. So this springy sort of feel, we want that. So we bend forward, tongue on the roof of the mouth, in and out through the nose. Bend forward, let your spine bend. Breathing in, pivot the feet. Breathe out. Breathe in, out. And as you get more flexible, more used to this, you start to change this a bit. So I'm extending back through my spine and looking up as well. So from the side, that's bending back through this area. So you feel more of a stretch through here, maybe feel a nice stretch in your back. Then the head go up too. But I only start doing the back arching and the head up once I feel the body feels loose enough to start to do it. I'm not trying to force it at all. So some very easy things you can do to do a before and after assessment of your body to see how much change this exercise does for you. Most simple one is just a head turn. So you're turning each way, just noticing how much you can turn. Does one side turn more than the other? And then noticing where's the tension. So for me, it feels a bit tight just here. Then when I turn this way, it feels tight down here. Some people, they turn this way and it feels tight on the opposite side. So just notice where that tension is. We do the exercise and then retest. So the amount you need to do is about 3 each side, that's 6, or 5 each side, that's 10. Wouldn't need to do any more than about 12. To do it in sets would be useful rather than doing lots and lots of reps with this. For the shoulders, you can practice. I'll have a look at how's the range going this way. Are you hanging out here or is one arm there? First that. Your hand behind your back. Just notice where you can touch. Is one side more than the other? Turning, wrap your body up, twist, see how far around you can turn. Notice if that changes. And the forward bend or back bend as well. So your feet are straight ahead, about your hip width. It's bending backwards. You can support yourself here. Notice how much back bend you have. And if it feels pinchy somewhere, do the exercise, notice for that change, because it could well change quite a lot. And the other one then is, again, with your feet straight and shoulder width or hip width with your feet. Bend from the hip first until you feel a stretch in your hemis. Then let your spine curl over. Notice how much can you touch? Are you only touching here? Notice where that is. Bend your knees, come up. And then do the exercise test again. So usually changes in all those movements happen with this exercise within about 6 reps. So who can benefit from the exercise? Pretty much everyone, except if you have significant vestibular issues already. So that means that you have to turn your head really slowly. You're really cautious of that. If you've got a lot of dizziness going on from medication or from injury or whatever, you'd be aware of it anyway. So for those people, not recommended at this stage. For everyone else, can help you if you have foot issues, knee issues, as long as you can bend and do the exercise, hip issues, spine, anything central, or neck issues, anything central on the body. So the vestibular system is the inner ear, controls where you are in space to do with head motion. So that's where this exercise really excels. So when you alter or give more information to the vestibular system, the brain actually feels safer. And when it feels safer, it actually reduces tension throughout the entire body. So we're affecting a couple of main nerves. So the vagus nerve, the 10th cranial nerve, comes out down through here, around all the organs, all the way down to the perineum. So you're actually getting a stretch with that nerve as you do this, and affecting that system dramatically, very quickly. When you train vestibular exercise, particularly in this form. The accessory nerve is affected too, which is one of the cranial nerves that comes out the back of the head, innervates the trap muscle and the SCM muscle here too. So it affects those two nerves very quickly. But the idea is that we're giving the whole brain more input, so it lessens the need for the body to have more tension assigned to it. So it affects the visual system somewhat, though it's not the big focus in this exercise, but 70 to even up to 90% of how much tension is assigned, or the brain assigns to the body. People think they need to get a massage to get tension removed from the body. That's very effective to do. But if you alter the visual system, alter the vestibular system, work with the tongue, the teeth occlusion, even work with the feet, it can drop out tension in the entire body very fast, because it's essentially the brain that's assigning why something has to be tight all the time. So we're just giving the brain more input that it doesn't normally have. It likes that, it reduces tension, and that's why you very quickly find that you can move so much better. So it's very good to do as part of a warm-up. If you're doing a lot of overstretching and you feel like I really overstretched, then the body got more tense from overstretching, you do this exercise for about 6 reps, and then you find that it's gone. So I'll tend to do a lot of stretching, loaded stretching. I'll get up from doing pretty much a full split. I'll get up and my hip, I can't quite walk properly because the hip's gone into spasm. There's a clearance not in the hip. I'll do this just gently within about 6 reps. I feel the hip open. Everything's all good again, because it's actually the vestibular system that's had more input. The body's out of a threat mode. So heavy, hard stretching can make the body go into a threat. And it's actually one of the biggest reasons why flexibility doesn't open up with certain kinds of stretching, is because the body's actually protecting itself from being injured. So it goes into a threat mode. So that's why relaxing into stretches is actually huge. Relaxing the diaphragm is huge. Putting a bit more muscle activation, getting more input into muscles in a new joint position. That's why that's always very effective, because it gets rid of the threat response. But if you find you have stretched or done something, or had a big stressful event and you feel really tight, do this exercise and you'll find it'll drop out very fast. For most people that I see in clinic, this works amazingly well.